Hello, it's me. It's your boy. I'm moving this up here. So today, since Game of Thrones ended last night, I'm going to be making a tier maker for all the Game of Thrones characters, seasons 1 through 8. I have my tiers over here. The GOAT tier is basically like you're an S class, you're the best characters in the entire show. Awesome is, very, very good characters. Maybe they're not up to the standard of the best in the show, but they're damn near close. Solid tier means you're just a solid character, pretty good. You're worthy enough to at least be in the damn show. Meh tier is basically, I don't know, kind of like below average to average. Like you're just like meh, they were in the show, but like it doesn't really matter. Shit tier, pretty self-explanatory. You're shit. And then underneath that, I had to add the Shadow Realm, and this is for characters that either I don't know or they're just really that garbage. All right. So we will start off and start putting this in here. I'm trying to get Ali Shray to join me, but she won't join me because
I'll add audio.
she's going to add the audio. First character is the king that started it all. Aerys Targaryen. He was the Mad King, Daenerys' dad. So we're going to throw him. He wasn't really in the show. From what we heard, he's just an asshole and destroyed everybody and killed people for no reason. And that's why he was the Mad King. And then Jaime Lannister ended up killing him. Sounds about right. So we're going to go ahead and throw him. I guess we'll throw him in the shit tier because not too many redeeming qualities about him. And by the way, I just want to point this out right now. The way that I rank this is by character. So like if you're a good character, if you made me love you, if you made me hate you, like that makes you a good character. Like there are certain people on this list that I severely, severely hate, and some of them might be in a good way where like you were a really good villain for the show. So like I'll put you in like a good tier because you were still a good character. So that's kind of the way I rate this. It's not necessarily my favorite characters or anything like that. So we're gonna throw this boyo in the shit tier because he never did anything. Alistair Thorne, who's the guy at the Night's Watch that was always an asshole to Jon and Sam. I mean, he fought for the Night's Watch for a little bit, and then he ended up stabbing Jon Snow in the heart. Or sorry, that was Ollie, but he stabbed Jon Snow. He was one of the ones that orchestrated it. So definitely not my favorite character. He was an alright villain. I'll put him in meh. Definitely a meh character. He's alright. Alright, let's move over to the Direwolf here. First one is definitely a GOAT tier for Ali Shray. It's Ghost. Ghost is a character.
All of the direwolves can get in the GOAT tier.
So Ghost is Jon Snow's direwolf. He's countless times saved Jon and saved other people in the Night's Watch. So he's definitely earned his title as an awesome character. Definitely got to give it to Ghost. He's one of the few direwolves that actually lived. He served his purpose. He did good things. He's an awesome character. All right, next we got this boyo right here, but I don't even know who he is, so he's going in the Shadow Realm. If you could let me know who he is in the comments, I might just be stupid and not know who that is, but I literally have no clue. Do you have any idea? This long-haired boyo that looks like Walder Frey, but it's not. So we don't know who he is. I apologize.
No, I know who he is. I just can't think of his name.
Oh, sorry to all the dieharders. Don't know who he is. All right, next up is Arya Stark. Definitely going in the Shadow Realm. I'm also kidding. So Arya Stark, one of the few Starks to actually live to the end. Pretty much the best character in the show. GOAT tier. I don't think much more needs to be said about that. She's fantastic, and every storyline that she's been in for the show has pretty much been fire. I don't think anybody's debating
That's
that.
the... Oh my god.
Who is it?
That's Greyjoy.
Oh my god, that's Balon Greyjoy.
You idiot.
All right, Balon Greyjoy was all right. I'm gonna put him in meh. He was okay. He didn't really push the story forward too much, but yeah, he's meh. Arya Stark, definitely the first GOAT tier character. There's no
You
debating
didn't
that.
put Ghost in the GOAT tier?
Ghost is awesome.
Oh.
He's awesome.
Okay.
He's definitely a good character. Arya is in the GOAT tier. There's no debating it. No one's going to be complaining about that. She freaking came through in the end and stabbed the Night King and won the war for them. So she was pretty much the most important character. And then in the end, she went off and Christopher Columbused her way through the rest. Oh my God, was all that light? So yeah, Arya is definitely a GOAT tier character. Next, we're going to make Ali Shrey cry here.
You look so dark.
Oh. All right, so we're gonna make Ali Shrey cry here.
Don't even tell me it's my boy.
Sir Barristan. Oh my God. All right, so Sir Barristan, he got kicked out of the what is it? The King's Guard. He got kicked out of that by Joffrey because Joffrey's a little asshole, and made his way over to Daenerys and ended up fighting for her and got killed when him and Grey Worm were. So we're gonna put him in solid. He was definitely a solid character. Next up, we got Benjen Stark, brother of Ned Stark. He was in the beginning of the show, then he was presumed dead, then he came back and he saved Bran and he saved Jon. So he definitely came through in the end and did his part, putting him in the solid category next to Barristan there. Not much more needs to be said. All right. Next, we've got another RIP, Beric.
Aww.
Beric and his 7 deaths or whatever he had by the end of the show. He was okay near the end. I mean, he was kind of meh pretty much the whole show. Maybe even like shit tier up until like the last season when he actually got decent and important. So I'm going to put him in the meh tier. I mean, you could definitely argue solid, but that's where I personally put him. We got Brandon Tully. This guy literally brought pretty much no importance to the show. He held his ground when his castle was going to get taken over, but other than that, did literally nothing. We're going to put him in the shit tier right next to the Mad King over there. Why did my screen just freeze? All right, we back. All right, so we're gonna put him in the shit tier. Up next, we've got the original Three-Eyed Raven. That boy sitting in a tree. I mean, he's definitely important to the show, but once again, didn't do too much except kind of show Bran the ropes for what he was going to end up being. I'm going to personally put him in the meh tier. He wasn't all that special to me personally, but we'll roll with it. All right. Next up, we're going to go Direwolf number 2. And Direwolf number 2 is Grey Wind. That is Robb Stark's Direwolf. Definitely has probably the coolest name. Come on, Grey Wind is so dope. I want to name my dog.
I was in that.
I'm gonna name my dog Grey Wind. So, Grey Wind's definitely gonna go. He didn't really do much, to be honest with you. He literally did nothing the entire show. He should be in the shit tier,
Go!
but just because he has a cool name, we're gonna put him in the meh tier.
Oh my god.
I'm harsh on these direwolves. All right, next we've got Roose Bolton, the dad of Ramsay Snow, aka Ramsay Bolton. We're gonna put him. I mean, he definitely made his mark, bro. He's the one who got freaking Robb Stark killed and betrayed them, and then he went and did his thing in the North until his son killed him, which was a sick scene. I mean,
What?
personally, I'm gonna put him in the meh tier. I don't think. I mean, Robb Stark's death was impactful, but other than that, I didn't really like the character or really think he was that great, to be honest with you. Next up, we've got Robert Baratheon, the second king that we've known, right next to this guy right here. The dude literally just liked to bang whores and also drink a lot. I'm going to put him...
Who?
Robert Baratheon.
Oh.
He's not a shit tier, that's for sure. I'm kind of between meh and solid for him. Yeah, he can... I mean, I know his importance, but for me personally, he was not the greatest character. So I'm going to put him in meh. I feel like I've got a lot of meh so far. Next one, Bran Stark. Boy, oh boy, what to say about this guy. He originally fell out a window, got literally, he couldn't walk, had dreams about ravens, traveled across the world, became the three-eyed raven, no longer Bran Stark, ended up on the throne. He had a long journey. He wasn't even in season 5. Honestly, Bran is definitely an awesome character in my opinion. A lot of people will disagree. He got Hodor killed, whatever you want to say about him, but I'm personally a big fan of his character, so I'm putting him in the awesome tier right up next to Ghosty. All right. A fan favorite over here, Brienne of Tarth. All right, Brienne of Tarth. All I gotta say is her adventures with Podrick were great.
What?
She was with Jaime first. I enjoyed all of her and Jaime storylines, and then she was with Podrick, and I enjoyed all of those, trying to keep the Stark girls safe. I mean, she's definitely a solid character. She was solid up until the end. I'm actually going to put her in the awesome tier. I think she was actually a really good character, brought a lot to the story, had a lot of development, and she slept with Jaime in the end. She should have wrote some dumb shit in Jaime's book, but she wrote some nice things instead. What a champ. All right. Sorry, but I do not know this guy.
Who?
He's going in the shadow realm. Next, Bronn. Bronn had a lot of storylines with both the Lannister brothers, Jaime and Tyrion.
Oh my god, who the heck is that?
I thought he was a very good character personally. He brought a lot of actual comic relief, but he was also a badass at the same time. Putting him in the awesome tier, definitely a great character up until the end. All right.
Oh my god, why can't I think of his name?
Next is Catelyn Stark. Cat Stark. She died in season 3 with Robb. Personally wasn't the biggest fan of her. I know she's decently important to the story, but I'm going to have to go meh. I know Franton will disagree with me because he was way more of a fan of her, but yeah, she was nothing more than meh in my opinion. Definitely all right. And now we get to one of the most controversial characters on the entire show, Cersei. All right. This is a toughie. Obviously, so most people are probably just going to say they hate her right away. Me personally, I mean, I really didn't like her until the season 6 finale when she blew up all the freaking cult leaders. What were they called? She blew up the High Sparrows.
Sept.
Yeah, the Sept. Those guys were awful. They were just terrible, and honestly, I liked Cersei even more than them, so I was kind of happy when she blew them up. Thought she had a fitting ending, dying with Jaime. I mean, they were always going to end up together, so like I can't hate on it too much. Overall, she definitely brought a lot to the show. I have to put her in the awesome category. I have to put her in the awesome tier. Not necessarily a GOAT, but definitely solid. All right. Next, we're going to go to Sansa's direwolf, Lady. R.I.P. in season 1. She got killed for absolutely no reason. For that reason, we're not going to put her in the shit tier. We'll also put her in the meh tier just because I feel bad for her. We'll do Arya's direwolf while we're at it. Nymeria. Yeah, this direwolf literally. Arya threw a rock at her, or him, whatever. I think it's a girl. Arya threw a rock at her in season 1. She dipped out, came back in like season 6 just to say, hey, she's like a freaking pack leader of wolves now. So she also didn't do much. We're going to put her in the Matek category. All right. We're only a few away from a very good one again. Dario Naharis. The guy that was sleeping with Cersei for like a few seasons and was backing her up and in her cabinet or whatever. I would say he was solid. All right. I still don't even know what I'm going to rate her, but Daenerys Targaryen is next. So me personally, I thought she was the most boring character for literally 7 seasons of the show. Just, I didn't care about her storyline. Every single season would be the same. She'd conquer a new army and keep marching forward. To be honest, she was just the worst. Didn't hate her or anything. She just, none of her, whenever she came on screen, I really didn't care. I kind of got the point of where it was going, so I understood it had to be there, but I just personally didn't really care that much. Season 8, 7 and 8, when she was kind of in that Jon Snow storyline, it's kind of weird that she still wanted to sleep with him after knowing who he was. And in the end, she turned out just like her father and burned the entire King's Landing to the ground. And at that point, I literally said, wow, I actually like Cersei Lannister over Daenerys. So, I mean, she definitely got some heat. Like, she made me hate her in the last season, which makes her, like, a decent character.
I think that other guy is Edmure Tully.
Oh, whatever. I already put him in the shadow realm. So, like, if you're pretty much shit tier to meh most of the series, but in the end you actually, you know, bring at least a little bit of evil to you, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of between meh and solid for her. She definitely redeemed it when she burnt a whole city to the ground. And it was the greatest moment ever when Jon Snow killed her. We'll put her in solid. Next, Davos Seaworth. Davos Seaworth. He's probably one of the goodest boys in the whole capital. The goodest boys. Yeah. He's in the GOAT tier. We all love him. I don't think anyone's disputing that. Yeah. He's like the moral compass of the entire show. Next, we've got Dickon. And yes, his real name is Dickon. And this is Sam Tarly's brother. He provided absolutely nothing for the show. And we're going to banish him to the Shadow Realm because I just could care less. The Prince of Dorne, or the King of Dorne, is next. And I kind of liked this guy before he died. I'll still put him in the meh because he really didn't bring anything for the story. All right, next up, I believe this one's Drogon. Yeah, Drogon was definitely the most important dragon. I'll put him in the solid tier right next to Daenerys. It's still his fault that he burnt the whole damn city to the ground, just as much as Daenerys' fault. So we got to fault him a little bit for that, but he was still cool. Khal Drogo, he pretty much died, pretty much the most pussy death of all time, to be honest. He literally got the smallest little cut, and it got infected, and then he died. And he only lasted a season, so it's not like he was even that great, but he was okay. I'll put him in meh. Also, he didn't speak any English, so he actually made me read subtitles. Next, we've got Edison. R.I.P. to Edison. Yeah.
Edison!
Yeah, this was a sad death for Shrey, unfortunately, but Had to be done. And Edison, honestly, I'm between meh and solid.
Meh
I
and
mean,
solid. Goodbye.
I'm gonna put him in solid. Edison was a good guy. He helped out. He was one of the Night Watch guys, and he was pretty cool. We'll put him in solid. Next is this girl from Dorne. I don't even know her name, but she's the I guess the wife of Oberyn, or the girl. I don't know what she was, but she was awful. She's going in the
or something.
yeah. She was going in the shit tier. I just could care less about her. Oh boy.
Ow.
Mr. Fraternity himself. He's straight out of SAE. Euron Greyjoy. Euron Greyjoy was definitely entertaining. He was only in it for like 2 seasons, but the dude made me laugh every time he was on screen. Kind of important near the end. I'll throw him in the solid category. Next, we got Buzzed Head Gendry over here, or Gendry. Decently important in the beginning, but then he literally just was out for half the show, and then he came back in the end and banged Arya. And now he's like the leader of the Storm something. So, he's a solid character. We'll give it to him. I actually like him. Provided enough of the story that I can justify putting him there. Next is this guy from the Night's Watch. I don't remember his name, but he died from a giant, and he died serving. We're going to put him in meh. Gren, yes. Oh, boy. Next, we're going to do Rickon's Direwolf, and his name is the stupidest name of all of them, Shaggy Dog. I don't know why.
Gendry yet?
Yeah. I put Gendry in solid.
Did you say he's the Lord of Storm's End?
Yes, the Lord of Storm's End. Shaggy Dog is next, and that is Rickon's Direwolf, who did absolutely nothing but get his head chopped off. I'm sorry, Rickon's Direwolf, you're going in the shit tier. And we're going to just finish off the Direwolves here and put in the final one, which is Bran's Direwolf, Summer. And Summer actually saved Bran on multiple occasions right at the beginning when he was about to get knifed. He just devoured him. He's actually one of my personal favorites. I'm going to put him in the solid tier. Next is Gilly. I mean, Gilly's really cool. I mean, no, she's not. She's not cool at all. I mean, she's like with.
God, you're so rude.
Gilly's like kind of boring, to be honest. Like, she's with Sam and she has her importance, but I'm not gonna go much further than that. I mean, she had a kid and named Sam the father, even though he wasn't. That's great. She's nice, but I'm gonna have to throw her in the meh tier. All right. Next up, we've got the Mountain. I don't know what to say about the Mountain. I mean, after he literally got brought back to life, he literally looked like Thanos underneath a mask. He was purple. And he had a cool fight scene with the Hound in the final season, and he was pretty badass the whole way through. So I'm actually going to throw him in the solid tier, even though he never spoke pretty much a word. And he had that cool...
You're going to put him in the solid tier?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a solid character. And he had that really cool fight with Oberyn to save Tyrion's life. Next is Grey Worm. Grey Worm I like for most of the show. He had that relationship with Missandei. When she died, he turned into a complete dill hole, and I didn't like him at all for the final season.
Who?
I thought Grey Worm.
Oh.
He was completely fighting against everything that I wanted, and I just wasn't having it. In the end, I'm between meh and solid.
You're going to put Grey Worm in meh?
I'm going to put him in solid, but...
You're insane.
Regardless, I don't know who this girl is, so we're going to put her in the Shadow Realm next to Dickon and this dude.
Let me see.
It's this girl looking sideways. I don't know who that is. Maybe I'm just
Where?
crazy, but I don't know who that is. Right there. I have not a clue.
I can't really see.
No clue. Maybe I'm
Oh,
like,
is that Lyanna Stark? at their wedding. At her wedding.
Sure. Lyanna Stark, Shadow Realm. Next is this guy, the leader of the Sparrows. High Sparrows?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, she goes into the Shadow Realm. Next is the leader of the High Sparrows. This dude, he was kind of interesting despite being a complete dildo.
He's the High Sparrow.
Yeah, I just said.
Oh.
He's the High Sparrow, and as much as I hated him, he was definitely like a good character for the show, so I have to put him in the solid tier. And if you're wondering who else is in solid, Grey Worm is in there. It's just, I don't want to cut off my picture there. Next is a legend. Hodor. Hold
the door.
Hold the door. The door was one of my favorite episodes, and it really kind of actually helped out with Hodor's character. He didn't do much, but he did his one job, and he did it well. I have to put the guy. He also saved Bran on many occasions when he warged into him and whatnot. I'm putting him in the awesome tier. He's a great character. Next, Jaime Lannister.
My husband.
Allie had a dream that.
Well, I had two dreams actually.
Allie had two dreams that she was married to Jaime Lannister. So, personally for me, Jaime Lannister had a lot of character development. I know a lot of people think it got shot down in the very end because he just went right back to Cersei. I personally thought it was a great choice to do that. I would have been fine either way. But in the end, he was always going to end up with Cersei. There was no doubt about it. And he still died fighting for the living, and he kind of died a hero. So, personally for me, I love the character. Plus, he has some sick hair when he grows it out. Got to give him the GOAT tier. And he's hot, apparently. Next is, I believe this is Janos Slynt. He's the guy from the Night's Watch. He's shit tier. He was a coward. Did nothing to progress anything. Next is the Many-Faced God. I don't know how to say his actual name. Not the greatest storyline, but it was somewhat interesting. A little bit, I guess. They didn't overdo it. They did it for like a season and a half. I'm going to put him in the meh tier. Not much more needs to be said. The leader of the Night's Watch is next. Mormont. Sorry. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. He's in the shit tier. I personally just found absolutely nothing redeeming about him.
That guy is not the many-faced god. He's not the god himself.
Oh. The guy who serves the many-faced god, sorry guys, is this guy.
Joaquin Hagar.
Yeah, Joaquin Hagar. He's meh. He's alright. This dude's shit tier, though. I just could care less. Next. Joffrey. King Joffrey. The second biggest asshole. Little shit. But you know what? He was, he made you hate him, and that's the point of his character. He did his job well, and he got his comeuppance in the end, and got killed. So I'm going to personally put him in the solid tier. Every time he was on screen, I was definitely excited to see him. So next is this little boyo, Jojen. I'm sorry, but he's going in the shit tier. He had a little bit of importance by introducing Bran to what he was meant to be in the end, so I have to give him credit. Like, he's kind of like in between a meh and a shit tier, but other than that, he kind of just was sick the entire time. I don't even know what he was doing. Another controversial one here. Jon Snow. Probably like a top 3 favorite character of mine from the beginning, and then we got into season 7, and all he did was say, "You're my queen, Daenerys," and just pretty much ruined his character. And then in season 8, he literally did the exact same thing up until the finale. And halfway through the finale, I thought it was going to be a crap finale because I was like, really, you're just going to continue to support this crazy bitch? And then he stabbed her, which redeemed him a little bit for me. Not enough that he can be a GOAT tier, but I'll still put him in the awesome tier. Jon Snow's still a pretty good character. I'm sorry, Jon Snow lovers, but
You're insane.
his last few seasons were a bit
Just because you didn't like the way his character went means he's not a good character? Wrong.
Yes, his
No.
character sucked in the last 2 seasons.
No.
Jorah Mormont, a very good character in my opinion. I gotta put him in awesome. Alright. Next, we've got Jory, who was best friends with Ned in season 1. I'm sorry, but another character I just didn't get to see enough. I didn't really think he did anything while he was there, and for that reason, he's going in the shit tier. Next is the girl that plays in the play that saved Arya and let her sleep over at her casa. I would, I guess, put her in meh, but I'm not. I'm gonna put her in the shit tier. She did something good for my girl, but other than that, Lancel Lannister is next. We're gonna put him in the meh tier. He was kind of a boring character throughout until he actually did something in season 6 or 5 and was one of the septas or whatever. What is it? Scepters. I don't know what that whole thing was called, to be honest with you. But he joined the cult, shaved his head, took on a whole new identity, banged his cousin Cersei at one point, whatever. Next is this weird-ass girl. I'm putting her in meh, but she did save... She literally had a grenade and saved Bran and Hodor and all them before Hodor died in season 6. I mean, other than that, she did nothing to help the storyline, in my opinion. Next is Littlefinger. Peter Baelish. Interesting the whole time. He was one of those characters where you didn't know if he was going to end up good or bad. And honestly, to this day, I guess he's a bad guy. But, I don't know. He was all over the place. Made you keep guessing. I'm going to put him in the solid tier. I liked every time he was on screen. I think you could even argue that he was awesome. But regardless. Next. Damn, we got some characters left. I'm going to start going quicker through these. Next is Loras Tyrell. Meh. He's alright. Oh. Yep. Lyanna Mormont. Did one of the most important things in the whole show. I don't even think that they would have beaten Dead if she wouldn't have taken out that giant. She took one for the team, got killed, but stabbed the giant in the eye. And for that reason, I mean, otherwise, she was very entertaining. I'm going to put her in the awesome tier. She definitely did a good thing there. Lysa is the Stark's aunt. And somewhat entertaining, I guess. So I'll throw her in meh. But she could be shit tier for all I care. This guy's going in the Shadow Realm. Probably the most boring character in the entire season or series. This is Marjorie and Loras' dad. He's awful. He literally did nothing. Maester Aemon, I believe his name was. Honestly, I liked him. I thought he served his purpose well. He was a good guy. Putting him in solid.
You think his name was?
Maester Aemon, I believe. Next.
How do you not know who Maester Aemon is?
Next is Mance Raider. Mance Raider. He's in solid, in my opinion. Served his purpose well. I like that Jon put the arrow through his heart to kill him instead of the burning. That was kind of a cool storyline. And he had a lot of pride, so I'll give it to him. Marjorie is next, and I personally liked Marjorie. I'm going to put her in solid. And she got killed by Cersei, but that was nuts. Mira, we're going to put her in meh. I mean, she helped out with Bran, but otherwise, I personally wasn't the biggest fan. Melisandre, where the hell do I put you? Good grief. This is kind of tough. Melisandre. I'm going to put You saved Jon Snow's life. You were completely wrong about the Stannis stuff. You lit up everyone's swords in the finale or in
She
the
lit
final
the
fight.
trenches.
She lit the trenches. So you did a lot of good things. You did a lot of shit things. In the end, I'm gonna go meh. My opinion. Fuck off.
Oh my
Missandei.
God.
Missandei was an awesome
was too
character.
much.
I really did like Missandei, and I liked her relationship with Grey Worm. And I also think she's probably one of the hottest girls in the show, which is always great because I like to look at girls in the show, obviously.
You're so awkward.
I'm still gonna go meh though.
Dude,
Missandei.
are you serious?
No, I'm going solid.
You
You're
make
right.
no sense.
I'm going solid for Missandei. She was okay. I'm not gonna say she was great. Next is what's her name? Marcella, the daughter of Jaime and Cersei. I couldn't give a shit less. Shit tier. Ned Stark, a very controversial opinion, but the dude was honorable.
Who?
Ned Stark was very honorable, but he was also kind of an idiot. He trusted Littlefinger when Littlefinger literally said, "Hey, don't trust me." So he trusted him, and for that reason, I'm putting him in the meh tier. He couldn't even last a freaking season. Dude's not smart. The Night King. The Night King was a good character, and he was definitely a viable threat as he killed like 7 or 8 of the people that we really liked. I'm going to put him in the awesome tier. I think he's a pretty cool villain. Next is this dude that I don't know. He's going in the Shadow Realm. Sorry, I don't know him, but that's how it is.
Who?
This dude. I wish I could expand this.
He's. Ow. He's
All right. Next, we've got Oberyn, who I kind of liked, and in the end, he fought for Tyrion, made a stupid mistake by thinking the Mountain was dead and got killed. But he was a very good swordsman. I'll give him some props. I honestly thought he was a pretty solid character. Next. Olenna. Olenna was one of the smartest people.
Craster.
Oh, Craster.
Craster's Keep.
Whatever. I was bored during that whole Craster storyline, to be honest with you. Olenna is next, and I really like her. I thought she was one of the smartest characters. You're gonna be very surprised, but me personally, I put Olenna in awesome. So she's up there. Pip. Did his job for the Wall. He could be put in the shit tier for all I care, but we'll put him in meh because he did something nice. Osha. Personally, I thought she was solid. She didn't have to. She was a wildling, but she still took care of the Stark boyos, so I'm putting her in solid.
She was a prisoner of them at first.
Yeah, she was a prisoner at first. Banged Theon. Then she tried to bang and kill Ramsay Bolton, but then he killed her. But she's solid. Oh my! Here we go. Podrick. Podrick Payne.
Oh my pod.
Podrick Payne with his big dick energy.
My pod.
All right, so we're gonna put Podrick up, and not just because he's a meme, but honestly, I'm putting him in the awesome tier. Definitely a good character. He's not GOAT material in my opinion, but
He is GOAT material.
she says he's GOAT material. I personally go awesome. That's my opinion.
You are the rudest.
Sir Maester. Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? Maester. What's his name? Lewin. No, not Lewin. Maester. What's the one at King's Landing? Pycelle. Maester Pycelle. Literally shit tier. He's just. Every time he spoke, I wanted to murder myself. Personally. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Who?
Alright, so I accidentally thought this was Pip at first, but this is Pip. Pip,
Let me see.
Pip is going in the meh tier, and this is Ollie. And Ollie was
Oh my
a little
God,
shit,
you're
but we're putting him
dumb.
in the solid tier just because
Where?
he did stab Jon Snow in the heart, and that was important.
You said that was Pip.
yeah, so I
my
messed up. Sorry about
God.
that. This boyo, I think he was in the Wildlings. I couldn't care less. Shit tier. This dude was the hand of the king for Cersei. Kind of interesting. Meh. Next, we got Ramsay Bolton, formerly Ramsay Snow. The worst little shit. He was honestly so freaking scary and cut off penises and all this other stuff. He was definitely an awesome character as much as we all hated him. Honestly, you could put him in the GOAT tier just because of how freaking crazy the dude was. Next, we've got Sam Tarly's dad. He was a piece of ass, but meh. This dude was kind of entertaining for the episode he was in, but I could care less than that. Renly Baratheon, really nice guy. I'm kind of between meh and solid, but he really wasn't in the show long enough or didn't do enough to even matter. Meh. I might come back to that one.
Who?
Next, we've got Rhaegal, Renly.
Oh.
Rhaegal, meh. Rhaegar Targaryen. I'm gonna have to put him. Oh, that's right. Shit tier. Rickon Stark.
Rhaegar?
Yeah,
I thought you
Rhaegar.
meant.
Shit tier. I don't care. Rickon Stark. Meh. His death was super cool though. I mean, I wish they would have done more with him, but they didn't. Next, we got Robb Stark, who was one of my favorite characters in the beginning. His storyline got a little bit stale before his death, but I was really sad at his death, and everyone loved him. But surprisingly, I'm going to put him in solid. Robin Aaron, little shit. We're going to put him in the meh tier. He sucked milk out of his mom's boobs and aged 18 or whatever he was, so kind of weird. But Roderick, shit tier, loyal to the Starks, but whatever. I don't care. Sam Tarly. Get this man up the list. Such a good soul. He ended up getting a girlfriend and killing White Walkers in the end. You can't hate on that.
And he's gonna have a kid.
And he's going to have a kid named John. So, the girls from Dorne were kind of entertaining. Kind of a mix between meh and solid. But I'm going to throw him in meh as well. The Hound. One of my favorite characters in the show. Can't put him in the GOAT tier though because he missed a decent chunk of the show as well. We all thought he was dead, but definitely important. Sansa kind of sucked in the beginning. She was right all along about Daenerys, and I love that. Important to the show. Got to put her in awesome. Little baby here. That was Sam and Gilly's kid. You know what? Throw this boyo in the shit tier. He didn't do anything.
That wasn't Sam's kid. I mean, technically,
No,
yeah, it is Sam's
we'll
kid.
put him
but
in the
it's Craster's kid.
I just want to throw him in the shadow realm. Yeah, Stannis' wife I could care less about as well. Shay, as shitty as she was, we'll put her in solid because she definitely had importance. I don't like what she did to Tyrion, but we'll throw her in there. Stannis' daughter was great. It's such a sad thing that she had to die and get killed in that way, but we're going to put her in solid as well. Almost done here, guys. Stannis Baratheon started off as someone I could care less about. Ended up being a decent character. He, I don't know, blindly followed Melisandre in my opinion, and he burned his kid alive. What is wrong with you, dude? You deserve him to be in this shit tier, but we're going to put you in meh. Robb Stark's wife, I liked her, but she didn't do anything to progress the story. Her and her baby got stabbed. Shit tier. One of my favorite characters in the show, and honestly, someone I think had the best redemption arc, is he killed literally like 18 trillion whites at the end to save Bran. Goat tier. Theon Greyjoy, the fourth one to join the GOAT tier. This boy was cool, but he didn't do too much. I mean,
Who?
the dude with the bun.
Thoros.
Sure, Thoros. Tommen, I'm going to put him in solid. He jumped out a window to kill himself, which was funny. Got to have sex with Marjorie, which was cool. But other than that, he didn't do too much talking, to be honest. Next, we've got Tormund, one of the most entertaining characters in the whole show, and that was his purpose. Awesome. This guy was kind of interesting. He's the Prince of Dorne. I'll put him in meh. I mean, he's meh. Next, we get to the best character in the entire show. Made a few questionable decisions in the end, but it's Tyrion Lannister. Come on now. The dude's the smartest person in the entire show. Makes pretty much all right decisions. Is a great hand of the king. Honestly, he would make a decent king. Just my favorite character.
Who?
Tyrion.
Oh.
Then Arya. Then probably Theon. Then Jaime. Then Davos. That's probably the order of best characters. I love Theon. And I thought he was important. Tywin Lannister. He's a shit. He did try to kill Tyrion, but we're going to put him in solid. Varys. Honestly, also one of the smartest in the entire show. Not GOAT tier, but definitely awesome. He was the one who was right about Daenerys all along, and it's bullshit that they killed him. That was one of Tyrion's wrong decisions.
Not all along.
Well, at the end, I meant.
Daenerys for a while.
And Varys was great. May he rest in peace with his no penis having ass. Next is the Blue Eyes White Dragon of Westeros. He raised some havoc, bro. I'm going to put him even above Rhaegal. He's going to be in meh.
Who? Viserion?
Yeah. Viserys. Someone that really needed some comeuppance in the beginning of the show. And he got it in like episode 6. I personally thought he was a solid character. He played his role. Moving on. A lot of people didn't like this girl, the weird girl that freaking was there with the Jagar Hagan, whatever his name was, the guy who worships the many-faced god. Personally, I'm going to put her in solid just because of that sick fight scene with Arya when she was running around. Plus, Arya beat the shit out of her blind. That was awesome. Girl with the baby that Ramsay Snow killed. I could care less. I'm going to put her in the shit tier. Yara. Give her solid. Wasn't my favorite, but she was important. Ygritte. Jon Snow's first love died to this little shit over here. Where's Ollie? I thought she was pretty entertaining while she was in the show. Solid. This dude, Shadow Realm, could care less. This guy shielded Arya from seeing Ned Stark's death. We'll put him in the shit tier. That's the only thing I know that he did. Walder Frey. Meh. Thank God Arya killed him. And last but not least, the most important character in the entire show, Hot Pie. Hot Pie kept recurring, showing up. He never gave up. We're putting Hot Pie in the solid tier. And that is Game of Thrones, everybody. I ranked everybody. So GOAT tier, Tyrion Lannister, obviously. Arya Stark, obviously. A lot of people would disagree, but Theon Greyjoy, personally, I liked his redemption arc. In the end, he killed everybody and died a hero's death. Jaime Lannister, come on, awesome. And Davos is rounding that out as 5th. I'll go through the awesome tier too. Awesome Ghost. Solid. Bran, the King of the Seven Kingdoms, or the
6.
King of the Six Kingdoms. Brienne of Tarth. Awesome. Bronn. I love Bronn. Sam Tarly. Ramsay Bolton. Cersei Lannister. Podrick. Hodor. Jon Snow. Olenna. Jorah. Lyanna. Night King. The Hound. Sansa. Tormund. Varys. And then that's the rest of it. So that's my final tier list. Now that Game of Thrones is over.
I'm going to read the books
Shrey's going to read the books.
because I can't let it go.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get rid of this cast of characters. I'm trying to think if there's anybody I'd really move. I don't think so. Everything looks about right. I'm very surprised I don't have Rob in the awesome tier, but I don't. Joffrey could be up there maybe, but last but not least, I just want to say that Daenerys is the worst goddamn character. I have her in solid, but she is literally the worst. Boring storyline for 7 seasons.
I can't stand
And then
you.
she turns into a flaming dildo in the end and murders everybody for absolutely no reason. And then Jon Snow kills her, and I jump for
Okay,
joy.
everyone unsubscribe to Joey for his stupid opinions.
If you like Daenerys, honestly, unfollow me anyways. I could care less. She sucks. And that's going to be the end of this video. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll probably do another tier maker at some point that's not as long as this. I'm going to go edit now. Anything left to say? In the comment section below, name your 3 favorite characters. And surprisingly enough, I think mine would actually be those 3. Tyrion, Arya, and either Jaime or Theon. And Pod.
Wood.
Pod. Goodbye.